I've got 4 pork chops here. They're probably right around an inch, a little bit less. You can see I trimmed off the fat just to save some time here. But what I like to do is just trim these edges off. If you want the fat on yours, well, keep it on for sure, okay? But I've done that to all 4. Now, before we get them in this brine, we want to go ahead and butterfly these guys. I shouldn't say butterfly. Definitely don't want to butterfly them. What I want to do is put a pocket in them. So I'm going to start over here, about in the middle, okay? I'm just going to come across, and you're going to want a fairly sharp knife for this. Okay? And you see I just kind of got a pocket, and you have to look, right, as you go through it. I'm sorry if you're getting a big shot of my back of my hand there. But we just want to build a pocket. It just makes it easier in my experience. It makes it easier to keep the stuffing in than if you were to literally cut it side to side, butterfly it. Then you got to figure out how to keep it all together. So you can see we kind of got our pocket there. And I'm just going to do that for all 4 of them, okay? So just cut right here in the end. And again, I'm sorry if the hand's in your way. Just kind of give you an idea. Okay. All right. And you can just cut on back to the bone. Just, you know, if you haven't done a lot, just take your time. And now we got another nice pocket. So I'm just going to get all 4 of them done, and then we'll be back to put them in this cool brine we're going to make today. For our brine today, I've got 8 cups of water. In here, I've got right at half a cup apple cider vinegar. I've got half a cup of kosher salt, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, okay. A little bit less than a tablespoon of black pepper, 2 teaspoons minced garlic, and then I've got a 1/4 cup Worcestershire sauce. Okay, now I'm just going to get this all mixed up. You could heat this to make it go quicker, but then you've either got to put ice in it or let it cool back down. I tend to not heat my brines. I just usually just stir it up and get the salt dissolved. So as soon as the salt's all dissolved, I'll be in the sugar, of course, we'll be right back. Okay, we got our salt all dissolved up here. Now I'm just going to place each of those chops in here. All right. And you can see I'm getting real close to the top, right? You could take a little bit out. In fact, I probably will, because everyone knows I tend to spill things. So I'm just going to take a little bit out. You could also use a bigger pot than I am, but I'm certainly not going to dirty up a pot for this, okay? So you just want to make sure they're covered, and if they're not, I mean quite covered, you can always come back and turn them later, but I think we'll be good. And then I'm going to add 2 bay leaves in here, all right? Now, you generally like to brine these overnight, but it's Sunday morning, and I'm going to make them for dinner tonight. So I'm just going to cover them in plastic wrap, and then what we'll do is I'll let them brine 6 to 8 hours, and that'll certainly help these guys get moisture, and we're going to get some flavor from this particular brine. All right, so we'll be back a little bit later this afternoon. These pork chops have been brining now for 7 hours. All right, it's time to cook these bad boys. Okay, now what you want to do before we stuff them and get them in there, you just want to dry them off, pat them down. There might be a little extra salt, you know, hanging around on top of them or what have you. So I always just kind of pat them dry. How we're going to stuff them is I've got about a cup of pineapple, half a cup of mango, and about a half a cup. This is pre-cooked. This is breakfast sausage from Bradley's Country Store in Tallahassee. It is absolutely my favorite sausage. You can use whatever sausage you like. You could even use some bacon. We're just going to mix this up. All right. Okay. Now, let's get back to our pork chops here. We're just going to take each one of these guys down in that pocket. Right. Stuff a little bit of this awesome stuffing in there. Okay. Just put what you want in each one. Now I got 4. We decided we're only going to stuff 3 because I am smoking a beer can cabbage, and I need this other pork chop to finish off that cabbage, which is, be a separate video. Okay, there we got that. And if you hear the noise in the background, that's my dog Abby. She's out here goofing around. She's found a lizard or something to chase. Okay, that worked out about right. There was enough stuffing left over that you could actually do all four. Now, all I'm going to do here is take a couple, 3 toothpicks through each one just to help me keep it all together while it's cooking. Okay, so there's one of them. Actually, I think this one, I can get a little bit more goodies in there. Okay, so let me just get that down in there. Oh, yeah. All right. Now, just, like I say, a couple, 3 toothpicks in each one just to keep everything together. And as soon as I get this one finished, I'll show you how we're going to season these guys. Okay, so I've got my toothpicks in there. Now, I'm going to use this Chop House seasoning. Tennessee whiskey. It's got a little Jack Daniels in it as part of their process. Just going to season these guys up. If you don't have this or you don't want to buy it, no problem. Just use your favorite pork seasoning. You could even use salt and pepper if you don't have a barbecue rub or a pork rub handy. Now we want to make sure we do both sides of these guys, right? We're going to have just layer after layer of flavor on these. And if you're interested in this seasoning, let me tell you what it's got in it real quickly. It's got spices, brown sugar, kosher salt, black pepper, paprika, natural flavors, monosodium glutamate, garlic, ground mustard, and Jack Daniels Black Label Tennessee whiskey. Okay? So as soon as I get all 3 of these guys, actually I'm going to season all 4 of them, I'm just not going to stuff the other one. As soon as I get them all seasoned up, we'll move over to this pit barrel cooker. Alright, like I said, pit barrel cooker's already going. I got a couple pieces of cherry wood in there I just put in. Here's that one we didn't stuff. Alright, and like I say, this stuffed cabbage, that'll be a separate video. It's actually got a beer can underneath it because it's beer can cabbage. So I'm just going to get these 3 stuffed pork chops on here. And we're going to get the lid back on this guy. And then I'll check on these pork chops in about 10-15 minutes. It's been about 20 minutes. Just going to turn these pork chops over. The color on them looking good. Okay. Get these guys turned over. Tongs would be better, of course, but I didn't think about that before I opened it up. Okay. Oh yeah, smelling good too. Just don't want to burn myself. Okay. Got a piece of chicken on there for my daughter. She doesn't like pork chops. This is the one I got for my cabbage. Let me get it turned over. Alright, now let's talk about saucing these guys. What I've got here is a pineapple, mango, and rum ghost pepper sauce that I made a couple of weeks ago. I'll put a link. You could, sauce this with your own kind of pork chop. But the whole reason I chose pineapple and mango for the stuffing was it goes right along with this pineapple and mango sauce. Now, for those of you that are worried about how hot it is, you can watch that video. It's not that hot, but again, if you're still worried, you can cut this sauce down by mixing it with, say, 50% honey or 25% honey before you put it on here. And then it won't be quite as hot if you're worried about that. If maybe you don't like things real spicy. But I'm telling you, this is a great sauce. I cut it with honey, let Donna try it. I cut it with rum, let her try it, and cut it with pineapple. And she liked it best straight up right out of the jar like I've got it here. So we're going to let this go another 20 minutes. Okay, we're looking at 40 minutes. Let me see, I don't think you can see that without me shoving. I can't show it to you without the probe going all the way through it. We're looking at about 148. Can you see that? 149, 150. We're good. You need to be 145. So we're going to plate these bad boys up and give them a try. We're just going to give this a taste. All right. There's our pork chop. Looks like I squished all the stuffing out when I was cutting it. Okay. Going to give this guy a try. Okay. Let me address, look, some of the folks don't like hot stuff. It's not too hot at all. We just put this thin layer on top. Very, very tropical. I could see you serving this with some red beans and rice, or just some beans in general. This would be awesome. So it's not spicy. Really, really juicy, and I'm sure that's from the brine. That's what brine does for you. You get those great flavors. I'm telling you. You got that pineapple. You got the mango. You got that sauce on top. This might be, for me anyway, my top 5 pork chops of all time. Maybe even top 3. And if you want it spicier, this is a great way to serve it. You know, if you have a bunch of folks over and they don't like so spicy, you can just have a little seasoning here on the side, a little sauce on the side, if you want yours a little hotter. I'm telling you, you've really got to try these stuffed pork chops. If you're not a subscriber already, I hope you hit that armadillo pepper icon up in the corner. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below.